This podcast is brought to you by the Mawa High School Sports Talk Club. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mawa High School Sports Talk podcast. Today, you're joined by Senior Nicholas Bostico,
Junior Chase Moskowitz,
Sophomore Daniel Almash,
Sophomore Kieran Hetzel,
Mr. J,
and our third special guest of Sports Talk podcast franchise or history, and our first special guest of the year, Mr. Saputski. Welcome to the Sports Talk podcast. How are you doing?
Gentlemen! Very happy to be here on your esteemed podcast.
All right.
It's great to have you.
We're very excited to have Mr. Saputski on here. For those who don't know Mr. Saputski is a business teacher here at Mawa High School. Mr. Saputski has been here. How long have you been here?
It's my 10th year.
It is his 10th
Hitting the decade
year.
mark.
That is 1 decade, and Mr. Saputski is a huge Pittsburgh sports fan. So let's get into this today. Today we are covering our Super Bowl Sunday podcast, and let's start out with our Super Bowl questions and answers. So let's go around the room. Mr. J, why don't you start us off?
I would like to. I really think this is going to be a closer game. I feel like it's just another game for the Chiefs. I know the 49ers are favored, but I think the pressure's on them. And it's going to be back and forth, and I think it's going to be one of those whoever has the ball last is gonna win. So my guess for my question would be I really do think that points are going to be scored with under 2 minutes left in the game. 2 minutes left in the game, somebody's going to have a drill, and they will score.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I like that.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Isaiah Pacheco gets the first touchdown of the game.
I like that.
My whole thing with that is Pacheco is running this Chiefs team. I think Mahomes doing great, but I think Pacheco is not getting enough attention that he deserves. I do think that the Chiefs are going to get the ball first. They did get the ball first in the Super Bowl last year, I believe. And Pacheco did score the first touchdown of that game too. I believe he did. And I don't see how this man doesn't do that this game. And like I said, he's just been running it up for the Chiefs the whole season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go for the 49ers. My guess is that McCaffrey, he's going to get under 129.5 rushing plus receiving yards.
I like that.
Now, look, he's going to get yards here and there. He's going to get a couple touchdowns. We all know that.
That's what happens
But
every
129,
year.
that's a lot of yards to get.
Versus Chiefs defense.
And versus the Chiefs defense, which
In
is
the spans
honestly
we trust.
arguably better than the offense right now.
That's rushing and receiving.
I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go off of what Nick said. I do think that the Chiefs are gonna get the ball first, but I think that they're gonna go with the aggressive way. I think they're gonna want the ball first. That's just my prediction. I feel like Andy Reid's gonna want the ball with his amazing play calling. I think that he's just gonna want to run it up the gut. You know, I think San Francisco only really sends 4 in the box at a time. You know, maybe they go down to 3 if they really need it for coverage, but they're really a zone team. So like, I'm going to go off what Nick said. I think Isaiah Pacheco slams us over 16.5 rushing yards. That's just me. I think that the Chiefs, I think Pacheco is just going to absolutely destroy this game.
And going back to what you two were saying about Pacheco, I definitely think that with the amazing 49ers defense, that he's definitely. I mean, it's gonna be rough for him. I think with the way he runs, the way Power runs, he's gonna dominate. I think that because the 49ers have been really good in the red zone, I think that there's gonna be a 4th down conversion, and I think someone's gonna score on it. Both defenses really well, and both offenses are gonna be getting in the end zone as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Am I up?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So, I've been impressed with the 49ers all year. Week 1, they just absolutely decimated the Steelers. And I think they've kind of gone through some ups and downs in the playoffs and gotten through it, which to me is a big indicator of a good team. As have the Chiefs been facing some adversity this year, having to play on the road. I really would like to see San Fran really rely on McCaffrey. I think you kind of saw the blueprint. The main blueprint of how to beat the Chiefs is what the Bills were doing for most of the game in that playoff game, and I don't know what the Ravens' game plan was. With a running quarterback and a strong running game to kind of abandon that. So I think if the 49ers can kind of stick to that, I wouldn't be surprised if they win. But I think I trust Andy Reid more than Shanny in a big game. So, there's that factor of it too. Though for my prediction of what I think is going to happen in the game, I really like a kind of Jake Moody to not have 7.5 points.
Yeah.
Like an under that point level there. I think just a new kicker in the Super Bowl, there's a lot of pressure. We can see some missed field goals. So we'll see how that happens, but that's where I would think of as my maybe bold prediction for the game.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that one too.
One thing I'm going to disagree with you on, Mr. Saputski, is though I agree Andy Reid is definitely better in the big games. Kyle Shanahan is no stranger to big games either, so I think it could be a toss-up really. But I do agree with you how the Chiefs could take it. But I'd also like to say, and regardless of the fact that I said Pacheco was, I think he's going to score the first touchdown. I want to get everybody's thoughts. Who do you guys think is the more complete team in regards of like depth and other factors? In my personal opinion, I think it's the 49ers. I just think in just very specific parts, like just everything around there, they look like a more complete team. Karen, what are your thoughts?
I definitely agree with you. The 49ers definitely have a lot more complete players. They have overall better players at most of their positions aside from the quarterback position, especially that defensive line for the 49ers with Bosa and then Trey Greenlaw at linebacker. And the only exception to that is Purdy. I think he's like their weakest point, even though he's the leader of the team. Mr. Replant showing that. But I overall think even with that, I think the 49ers are more complete. Chase, what do you think?
I don't think this is really an arguable question to ask because it's the 49ers. That's the answer. They have a better offense and probably the same amount of defense, but I think their offense is much better than the Chiefs.
You got a QB that is like going to be the next Tom Brady versus a QB that has no Super Bowl experience. I think it's a very arguable topic.
but 49ers offense is still
Definitely.
way better
Even without
Even without
Purdy there. It's still much better. 49ers made the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's be real.
That's true.
I don't think they need a quarterback.
Right, but what has happened since that Super Bowl?
They've
they
made
got
the-
Christian McCaffrey. They got Brock Purdy.
They've also made the conference championship 2 times.
2 times out of those 5.
Now 3.
Yeah.
So I think they're pretty complete.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Talking about overall completion, I just want to mention. I just want to mention how that the 49ers offense has 5 All-Pros. That is insane. Dude, 5 All-Pros. I haven't even heard of that. That hasn't even been heard of in the National Football League. I'm telling you right now that Trent Williams at left tackle is going to save Brock Purdy's whole paycheck, I should say. He's projected to get paid this offseason. If he wins the Super Bowl, it's going to go up.
Yeah.
But dude, if you're talking about completion, dude, I see that Niners defense and the way that they could play zone at their best without any holes in that zone. I think they're gonna make it rough for Mahomes, but I say this to myself every time. Chiefs and Ravens, I didn't try to get ahead of myself. I said if the Chiefs win, you know what? It was expected.
Yeah, I agree.
It's 100% scripted. They want the fairy tale ended. But guess what? We gotta know that 49ers are the complete team, but if it goes the Chiefs' way, it goes the Chiefs' way, and we just have to expect that when we're living in Patrick Mahomes' world.
I don't think there's going to be a huge surprise if either team wins.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, these are the 2 most complete teams in the NFL. I think it's
that are structured.
right.
The Ravens weren't that. I mean, they had the Mark Andrews out for most of the season.
Yeah.
Number 1 receiver was Zay Flowers.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, can we? Oh yeah.
No. So going along with that, I think what's going to be interesting is I think the window for both of these teams is starting to close, right? When you're just mentioning Williams up for a new deal, you're looking at some of the aging of the players on the Chiefs and some of their big contracts, right? We talk about, I think a lot of times, you hear about these windows that these teams kind of have to win championships, and the Chiefs have been doing obviously very well in their window. But there's a clock on everything, right? You don't have a Tom Brady situation very often in the NFL. So I think to me that's going to be interesting. Is the Chiefs kind of have a legacy already, right? They've been to 6 straight AFC Championship games, and they've won 2 Super Bowls. They're trying to win a 3rd.
They're a dynasty,
right?
If they win this, yes.
Right. So you got the Niners who have had all of those pieces or similar pieces, but not that title. So to me, I think that's the big story here: is can Shanahan get a ring? Can these guys win? Before their window starts to close, and it's harder to keep this core group of players together.
I think if anybody out of all the players that are playing in the Super Bowl, if anybody deserves a ring, it's George Kittle.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is,
Yeah,
he is
sure.
so
Oh,
indeserving of a ring.
And McCaffrey. And Trent Williams as well.
McCaffrey is like he
But
deserves
McCaffrey joined
it.
the team last year. I would say Kittle. I agree with Kittle.
I agree with Kittle, but I'm going to back up Nick on the CMC comment. CMC has been our top 3 running back throughout his whole career. He came from Carolina. He had no realistic shot of winning a ring in Carolina. I think this 49ers trade was just, you go out and get the best running back in the league, overall complete running back in the league, and he deserves a ring.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you that McCaffrey deserves a ring, especially because going back, his father Ed McCaffrey won twice, I think, three times.
With the Broncos,
So with the Broncos and with the Niners, so become the first father-son duo to win a Super Bowl for the same team. I think that'll be awesome if you see that happen. I definitely think he deserves it because he just shows why he's the best running back in the league.
Yeah.
Well, Trent Williams, he was on the Redskins,
Yeah.
right? I mean, like, you had to endure that franchise, right?
Oh,
So
my
talk
God.
about deserving to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. It's just as far as my breakdown with the completion of these teams, I got to look at the tight end position. I think I got to bring up Travis Kelce. He's been, he really has been on fire. He had a really great game last time. And you mentioned George Kittle. I think the X factor for both of these teams are going to be their tight ends. Like, which one of these guys comes out, catches 10 passes, has a touchdown? I think the tight end position is the one that's going to really tip them over one way or the other.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's end this podcast out with our Super Bowl predictions and our scores. Chase, why don't you start us off?
Start us off. All right, I got Chiefs 24, 49ers 21.
Okay.
All right. I've thought about this a long time. I think there's going to be a score within 2 minutes left in the game, and that's going to be the win. And I think that it's going to be the 49ers will be winning 27-24, and the Chiefs are going to score a touchdown, and they're going to win 31-27. Chiefs.
I'm going to say slow start. I think we're going to go into halftime with only a couple of scores, and things will the game will open up in the second half, and then I think you'll see some fireworks towards the end of the game. So I'm going to say like maybe a 30-28 49ers win.
Oh, we can only hope.
All right, Dan.
Okay, I've thought about this for a long time, along with Mr. J. Like, here's the thing. I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself. Obviously, we don't want another Brady dynasty. I just don't see I don't see Mahomes losing in the playoffs, especially.
Yeah, but any
because-
dynasty
to
that's
pick,
not
yeah.
Boston is better.
I know.
Yeah, it's just hard to pick against Patrick
Here's the thing. I don't see them losing, especially in the stage. The only guy who has beaten Mahomes in this stage is Tom Brady himself. I don't see him losing to anyone even close to Brady. I have the Chiefs winning this game by the score of 34-31. That's just me.
I definitely think that it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's definitely going to be close. I think just like last year, it's going to be a Harrison Butker field goal that's going to win the game. I think the game is going to be tied at 24 at that point, so I think it's going to be 27-24 Chiefs.
Quick side question: who here thinks Harrison Butker is better than Justin Tucker? Anybody here, by chance?
Consistency-wise,
I agree with that.
me.
Anyways,
100%.
back to our picks. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the 49ers are gonna win this match, 34-28, and
I wish.
it's actually I think it's gonna go to overtime. I think it'll go to
I
overtime.
wish.
Wait a minute, we haven't had an overtime game in a while.
I wish.
All right, Mr. Saputski, finish us off.
And this with the bang.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just excited for all the pomp and circumstance of a Super Bowl. I'm pretty proud that we got through an entire podcast without mentioning some of the other theatrics around these games. But
I wasn't allowed to.
I think it's like a national holiday. It's just something
is.
we all look forward to as sports fans, and there's some stories that we talk about the rest of our lives when we see a good game. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Maybe we should take it to JPP. Let's have off on Super Bowl Monday.
Yeah, it should be a national.
Should be a national.
Yeah, or should it just be on Saturday?
Nah.
No, I can get around that.
Super
that.
Bowl Saturday doesn't hit
It
as much as
doesn't
Super
hit.
Bowl Sunday.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. This has been a pleasure to host Mr. Saputski. I'm Nicholas Bostico.
Chase Moskowitz.
Mr. J.
Daniel Almash.
Kieran Hetzel.
Holler at your boy.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next time.